sellout crowd at Target Field tonight. It's always fun when the White Sox and Twins play each other, especially when there's so much at stake. We're talking survival, folks. Both the White Sox and Twins were supposed to contend for the division championship, but right now they're a long ways behind Detroit, hoping to make their move in early August. And welcome to Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. Very nice to be home after a very difficult road trip. And for a team like the Twins that needs a series win, boy, is the right team in town.
Yeah, Chicago. The Twins have basically owned the Chicago White Sox this year, 7-1. The big stat: starters ERA 1.87. The starters have been struggling. They need to really pick it up here against the White Sox and go deep into the ballgame if they can.
Now, as the Twins have gotten some players back off the disabled list, the one guy who's carried the club has been the guy who's been there all year long, and that's Michael Cuddyer.
Yeah, Michael Cuddyer having an all-star year, which he was. He represented the Twins this year at the all-star game. He hit in every game on the road trip. Twins 4-6 on the road, but Michael Cuddyer leading the Twins in almost every category.
Well, in addition to everything else regarding this weekend, it's the 1991 World Championship reunion weekend. And, of course, Twins manager Ron Gardenhire, a big part of that team, will reflect when we come back. Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
It's reunion weekend in downtown Minneapolis. The Minnesota Twins and Chicago White Sox kick off a three-game set here at Target Field as we celebrate the 1991 Minnesota Twins World Series championship team here on Fox Sports North all weekend. I'm Robbie Spakowski. Twins manager Ron Gardenhire, his very first job as a coach with the Twins was a third base coach in the 1991 season. It was his first year in the big leagues as a manager. And earlier today I caught up with him and asked him what he remembers most about that 91 World Series team.
It's the streaks, 15 in a row, I think we won at one time, or 14 or 15 in a row we won at one time. Starting off the season, scuffling along, and people were, writing us off, early in the season, and just watching this team just go places and start dominating teams. And you came to the ballpark every day knowing you had a great opportunity to win a game. There really wasn't much doubt.
And that team go okay. What a year it was. We'll celebrate it all season long. When we come back, it's Nick Blackburn against the Chicago White Sox. Nick and Bert, first pitch coming up next.
Michael Cuddyer heading out to right field to start this 3-game series with the Chicago White Sox, a team that comes into the series limping a little bit, not literally but figuratively. They've lost 6 in a row. They had a terrible homestand, including a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Yankees. Here's the Menards batting order for Ozzie Guillen. Juan Pierre leading off, Alexei Ramirez, Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Carlos Quentin, A.J. Pierzynski, Gordon Beckham, Alejandro De Aza, and Brent Morel.
Well, on the mound tonight, it'll be Nick Blackburn looking for his 8th win of the year, his 4th start this season against the White Sox. He's been perfect so far. 3 starts, 3-0 with a 2.75 ERA. Has the most wins against the White Sox in his career with 9. And maybe just what the doctor ordered, not only for Nick Blackburn, but also the Minnesota Twins pitching staff. They're coming off a terrible road trip. They won 4 but lost 6, but the starting staff just did not pitch very well.
An ERA on the road trip of 8.70. That's not going to get it done in the final 51 games of the year. Here's the Northland forward and defense for the Twins. Young, Revere, and Cuddyer in the outfield. Valencia, Nishioka, Tolbert, and Mauer, the infielders. Drew Butera will catch tonight and tomorrow. Ron Gardenhire kind of tipped his hand, saying Mauer really got beaten up out in the West Coast in Anaheim. And so that means that Mauer will play first base tonight and tomorrow. At least that's the plan.
Well, I told you the numbers on Blackburn against the White Sox. He had 2 very bad starts on the road trip, a total of 7 innings, 22 hits allowed. 21 hits allowed, 12 earned runs.
1-0 to Juan Pierre, who's been one of Chicago's hottest hitters. The average up to 277. Bluffing a bunt and taking ball 2.
If you're sitting at home, watch Nick Blackburn work that fastball, and he wants to keep it down in the strike zone. Like that. He himself says that he feels his mechanics are fine. It's just a location of his pitches where he's really getting hurt.
Under Mauer's glove and into right field. Pierre continues his hot hitting.
Even that pitch right there, a fastball, no movement on it, pretty much right there. And Pierre, who came into this game hot, starts the game off with a base hit. Take a look at the fastball. Little bit of movement, but it was about thigh high.
And right down the middle of the plate. So here's Alexei Ramirez with Pierre aboard. And that misses the inside corner, ball 1.
Pierre at first base. The White Sox run a little bit. He has 16 stolen bases, but he's been caught 13 times. That's one thing that Ozzie Guillen was hoping he would get some more running, but they have not been successful at all.
It's close play there. Blackburn with a quick move and a good pickoff throw.
Well, the White Sox have 47 stolen bases, but they have been caught 37 times. Pierre diving back in.
They all dive to the back edge of the base. And base runners carry gloves sometimes to give their fingers something to grip onto so they don't sprain or jam their fingers when they hit the dirt.
Right.
1-0 to Ramirez. Down the middle, a strike. Even though they've been struggling, the White Sox, in a sense, kind of a dangerous team because they have struggled at home. And they do have a lot of talent. And when you get away from home, when you've been struggling there, sometimes the road is the best place for you to be.
Yeah, the White Sox 8 games under 500 at home, 2 games above 500 on the road.
Chopper to short. And Ramirez is retired, and Pierre moves to second base.
Now, the ball not hit hard enough for Nishioka to turn and throw the ball over to Tolbert. He gets the out at first. Pierre goes to second.
Twins had that 4-game series in Chicago, won 3 of them, and got within the shadow of the White Sox, and that's kind of where they're at right now. A game and a half behind Chicago in the standings. But again, both teams, the Twins and the White Sox, were supposed to be fighting for first place, not third place. And one of these two teams needs to get it going.
Well, here's a guy that's had it going all season long, Paul Konerko. 25 home runs, 76 RBIs on the year, hitting over 300 with not a lot of protection behind him.
And again, that's not by design. The White Sox invested heavily in getting some protection for Konerko and Dunn and acquiring Rios. Rios has been benched again tonight. Konerko missed a few games after getting drilled in the left leg by a pitch over the weekend. Or earlier in the week, I should say, just off the corner. And it's 2-0.
There's Rios watching.
Replaced by Diaza. Rios among those getting booed pretty heavily at home, now missing inside, and it's 3-0 to Konerko. First base open, Dunn on deck.
Konerko 11 for 42 lifetime against Blackburn, a .262 hitter with a home run. And a guy that probably have the green light right here if it's a pitch to his liking.
Jeff Cox, the third base coach, keeping an eye on the middle infielders for the Twins. .3-0 to Konerko. There's the outside corner.
Hey, one with a 3-1 slider. Pretty good hitter ahead in the count, Paul Konerko.
The final ballot winner for an all-star berth this summer. Check swing, and it's ball 4. So first and second, one out, and that gets Dunn to the plate.
It looked like an off-speed pitch right there, trying to go inside, and walks Konerko. Blackburn's 41st walk in 131 innings pitched.
Adam Dunn also hearing the boo birds in Chicago because of those numbers. Signed as a free agent a year ago, the White Sox were interested in acquiring him via a trade. Then they did get him in the offseason. And it's been, to this point, an absolute disaster for the White Sox and for Dunn. Inside ball 1, and now Butera is going to go to the mound.
Hey, signed a 4-year contract worth about $56 million. That'll take him through 2014. But Dunn has always been a guy that strikes out a lot. But usually more home runs. 11 home runs on the year. He has 365 career home runs.
Dunn leading the league in strikeouts by a bunch. And Blackburn misses again. 14 pitches, just 5 strikes for Blackburn. Very solid numbers, not spectacular, but solid numbers last year for Dunn. We saw this from Blackburn in his last start. A very short start, a lot of hits, but also 5 walks for a guy who's normally right around the plate.
Right. Carlos Quentin on deck.
And Dunn hitting 167 draws a walk, and the bases are loaded for Quentin. And here's a first inning trip to the mound for Rick Anderson.
Mike Estabrook behind the plate, and a couple of those pitches look pretty close. Actually, Blackburn looked like he kind of went. Estabrook kind of put his hands up. The ball's away.
He's hearing it from the Twins dugout right now. Ron Gardenhire and Estabrook continue the dialogue. Trying to overhear and read lips. Estabrook saying, I can't call it a strike that far out. So they're loaded up, one out, and Carlos Quentin at the plate.
Quinton, very good numbers against Blackburn. 11 for 28 over their meetings. A .393 hitter.
So an early test for Blackburn. With a single and a pair of walks and only 1 out in the inning. Just 5 strikes for Blackburn on the night so far. Chopped foul, 1 strike.
Quinton's hit into 7 double plays. Blackburn has had 12 turned behind him so far this year.
Twins hoping for a ground ball hit at somebody. Infield back. Twins didn't do much right. Did a lot of things wrong on the road trip, including turning double plays. They need to turn one here if given the chance. Ground ball to short. Nishioka has it. And an errant flip. And the run will score. He tried to backhand it to Tolbert. And it was nowhere near the bag. Quinton does not run particularly well, and they may have had a chance at 2.
Yeah, ground ball double play. Nishioka going, and then the flip, and Tolbert can't get it, so a run scores. We'll see how they rule it.
It's got to be an error, I would think, doesn't it?
Yeah, that play's got to be made right there. It'll be an error, and Quinton will be credited with an RBI. So Nishioka making an error. It's 9th error of the year.
Pierzynski takes a strike. So they got the ground ball and should have gotten 1, might have gotten 2. They got none. And the inning rolls on for the White Sox. And now 2 strikes. Well, we saw it for years with the Twins, and we'll probably see it here. The at-bat really just beginning for Pierzynski. He's one of the most annoying 2-strike hitters from the standpoint of he fouls a lot of pitches off and doesn't strike out that often.
He has hit into 18 double plays. That leads the White Sox in double plays.
That's a little pop-up. Infield fly rule should be called. And Nishioka drops it, but the batter is retired. So Nishioka dropped it, but the batter was retired as soon as the umpire called the infield fly rule.
Yeah, I think Nishioka's smiling right there, but I don't know if he knew exactly the infield fly rule was called and what it means. It means that all the runners are safe. The ball not hit far enough so that it's an infield fly rule in case somebody does do that to maybe get a double play. Pierzynski is automatically out and the bases remain loaded.
Here's Beckham.
I would think that would be the same rule in Japan.
It's a good question. I don't know. It's a rule that was put in for a good reason. You know, you can't intentionally drop the ball. Runners wouldn't know where to go.
I'll ask Dan Gladden between innings.
Yeah, he played in Japan. He might remember something from 17, 18 years ago. Dug out by Butera, 2-0. Well, this has not been a good inning for the Twins on any front, starting with Nick Blackburn on the mound, who has fallen behind hitters, walked a couple. So far, though, given up just 1 run.
If he can get out of this right here, that's a good job of damage control.
3-0. Beckham's been swinging a good bat for the White Sox in an enviable spot here. Bases full, 3-0. And a strike.
Well, you see the first 3 pitches, even that one on a little bit on the low side, but Blackburn gets the call.
3-1. Bouncer left side. Valencia picks it off. Fires across to end the inning. White Sox leave the bases full. The Twins give them a run. It's 1-0. Everybody got home about 6, a little bleary-eyed, and rough first inning for the Twins. It's just 1-0. Here's their Menard batting order. Ben Revere, Matt Tolbert, Joe Mauer, Michael Cuddyer, Jason Kubel, Danny Valencia, Delman Young, Tsuyoshi Nishioka, and Drew Butera, no stranger, on the mound. Mark Burley getting a little chatter from the Twins dugout. And he's been very good, and he delivers strike one.
Yeah, you have to hurry up and get Burley's scouting report in because the next pitch will be coming. He's been outstanding. Last 16 starts, he's allowed 3 runs or less in every start. And 25-game winner against the Minnesota Twins, the most against any opponent.
Here's Ben Revere, 1-1, and a bouncer to first under the glove of Dunn. And Revere's aboard. So the inning started for the White Sox. Pierre hit a harder ground ball and a tougher play for Mauer, but it ducked under his glove. This is a routine play, and Dunn couldn't make it.
Yeah, you know, it's Paul Konerko with nursing that still injury, did Dunn getting an opportunity to play some first base. And this ball just right through the wickets right here. That's a goal. And the one thing that the White Sox have done, they've had the fewest errors in the American League. That's only their 49th.
Well, here's Matt Tolbert with Revere at first. Burley absolutely shuts down the opponent's running game. So even though Revere's there, wouldn't think a stolen base opportunity, but a very good chance, I would think, the Twins would want to do some hit and running. Burley's always around the plate. Tolbert, you'd like to think, could make contact with the ball in play. A little squirter. And Beckham misses the tag, and he throws to Tolbert. And Revere goes to second base. One down, tying run at second. Here's Joe Mauer. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. Juan Pierre, Alejandro Daza, Carlos Quentin, Morel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Dunn. And A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate.
You know, between innings, I went over to talk to Dan Gladden. And actually, Dan Gladden was going over to the Japanese reporters to make sure that it's the same as in Japan as it is here, the infield fly rule.
Here's Mauer, chance to tie the game up with a hit to the outfield. Revere chased back to second, and Mauer takes a strike.
I said to Gladdy, I said, you don't know that rule? He goes, no, I forgot.
He's an outfielder. What does it matter to him? Well, I find out afterwards, of course, it just looked to me like Nishioka missed the ball.
I thought he was doing that on purpose.
Oh, you did?
To be honest with you, yeah. Because he picked it up and threw home right away.
Little looper to left and out of the range of the shortstop. Revere flying around third, and the Twins have tied it up. Haven't hit a ball hard yet, but it's a 1-1 game.
Well, Mauer picking up his 21st RBI. Kind of fisted out the other way. And watch Ramirez going after it. Now, you see Ben Revere kind of in no man's land, but once that ball lands, he's going to score.
Revere running on Pierre like Pierre would run on Revere if a similar ball were hit.
I'm just going to say, Pierre, not a very good arm.
Here's Cuddyer. Twins have some right-handed hitters, including Cuddyer, who got very good numbers against Burley. Inside ball one. Delman Young, another hitter with real good numbers against the Chicago Ace.
One guy that they have seen a lot, 99 at-bats for Cuddyer against Mark Burley, has 33 hits. 98, excuse me. This is number 99.
1-1. Cuddyer, having seen Burley all those times, knows that Burley will nibble, and he'll try to make you swing at pitches just off the plate.
Burley, 32 years old, his 12th season with the White Sox.
Driven to right. Carlos Quentin is there for the catch. That's out number 2. Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. Here's Jason Kubel. Down the middle of strike.
Left-handers hitting .238 against Mark Buehrle. Right-handers .283, .271 overall.
Driven to deep right field. Gone.
Home run number 8 on the year for Jason Kubel. We're on a road trip. He had a couple home runs, swinging a good bat. Good solid contact, dropping the barrel of a bat. And the Twins take a 3-1 lead. Back in the line with you, young man.
So a 2-run home run for Kubel. Sonnen sitting in right field almost caught that ball.
Oh, did he? Well, that ball caught the plate of whatever that gentleman was eating. That home run estimated at 396 feet. Nice going, Jason Kubel.
And now bouncer to short, and Ramirez hands it. 3 unearned runs for the Twins, and they've got a 3-1 lead. Brought to you by Pentair. Now, I guess in its own way, a good start for the Twins. They got 3 runs against Mark Buehrle, taking advantage of a Chicago error. So now we'll begin the second inning with the Twins up a couple of runs.
Yeah, that home run by Kubel is 100th career home run.
And at some point in this homestand, the Twins hope that Jim Thome will hit his 600th career home run. Tap foul. Diaza in at the expense of Alex Rios, who's had such a miserable year this year. He had an okay year last year. But the White Sox are still into him for a lot of years and a lot of money. And he's been booed off the field in Chicago and taken off the field by the manager the last few ball games. Driven to right. And down for a hit. Cuddyer will flip it back in after a leadoff single. Second inning in a row now where the White Sox have gotten a leadoff hit.
Ron Coomer, 26 pitches in that first inning, 12 for strikes. Tough as a defensive player sometimes to play behind a guy like that.
Well, it definitely makes it a lot more difficult, as you saw, Blackie throwing some decent pitches, some real close that he didn't get the call. But to me, the one thing on Blackie is he's had a lot of success against the Chicago White Sox. I really look at guys like Nick Blackburn. They should be able to do real well. This has notoriously been a free swinging team. in a team trying to hit the ball in the air and hit home runs. And if Blackie can keep the ball down with a sinker and a slider, this should be a great matchup for him.
But that's been the problem for Blackburn. He cannot get that sinker to sink. A lot of home runs, 17 home runs allowed already this year for Nick Blackburn.
Bert, and the thing that was pretty amazing to me in watching Blackie pitch, when he came back from All-Star break, he had like a 10 days off before he pitched. And he was able to really command his sinker when he came back, which is kind of rare because most of the time those guys, sinker ballers, if they're too strong, either they bounce the ball or the ball stays up because they're throwing too hard. You know, it's kind of a strange thing for Blackie, and you just wonder if it's a mechanical thing.
He says his mechanics are fine, and beyond that, he says he's healthy. There goes the runner. Butera's throw right on a bag. A perfect throw. Drew Butera couldn't have hand-delivered it any better than he did.
Piazza had a very good jump, too, off of Blackburn. And Butera just winds and just throws a perfect P to Tolbert. And the quick tag.
Well, there's an interesting call. He tagged his helmet, which was off his body. Bouncer left side. Second hop fielded by Valencia. High throw. And it'll be an error, allowing Morel to reach. And another error here. And the Twins are playing very sloppily in the field. Pitcher struggling, he doesn't need plays like that behind him.
Well, one thing Blackburn has had, he's had 16 unearned runs when he's been on that mound, too. You see Mauer leaping up, but the ball tipping off his glove. And Butera, the catcher, backing that play up.
Well, two things happened in that play. One, Danny getting a routine ground ball and not keeping his feet moving towards first base. And, you know, for Joe, not playing much first base, the golden rule, as we all know, catch the baseball first. You know, but for Danny, you got to keep your feet moving towards first base to make that throw.
Ball one to Juan Pierre.
For Valencia, it's his 15th error of the year.
Blackburn misses again, 2-0.
You mentioned in his first at bat, Pierre been swinging a hot bat. He got the base hit in his first at bat coming into this ball game. Over his last 32 ball games, hitting .344. A slap type hitter, line drive type hitter. One home run on the year.
As we said in his last start, Blackburn, when he's on, just pounds the strike zone. Doesn't walk people, and his walks as much as anything else got him in trouble in the first inning. Ramirez will hit next.
Sometimes you try to be a little bit too fine. There's a pitch. Just let it go. I mean, trust your stuff sometimes. We talk about that with Liriano. You know, trust your fastball. As long as it's down in the strike zone, hopefully the hitter will hit it at somebody or pop it up. Blackburn not a strikeout pitcher, so he needs to throw strikes. And he misses there for ball 4. Third walk for Blackburn.
10 plate appearances, 3 walks, 2 errors, couple of hits. But the Twins still have a 3-1 lead. Ramirez to the plate. Coming up on Fox Saturday Baseball, it's the Yankees and the Red Sox. And the 2 top teams in the American League East. Of course, the great rivalry that goes with that. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 3 only on Fox. Here's Ramirez, hit a slow chopper to Nishioka for the first out of the first inning. Off-speed pitch at the belt, a strike.
Not the strike to ball ratio you want.
Ooh. Swing and a foul. 2 strikes. And the White Sox, in the 4 games against the Yankees, didn't draw 1 walk. And now Blackburn, who's normally a control pitcher, has walked 3 of them in the first 10 plate appearances. Another slow chopper, and Valencia's going to have to hurry. just barely got him. 2 down, and the runners move up.
Oh, good stretch by Joe Mauer. Better throw to Mauer. And Danny Valencia making a nice play. Always a tough play for a third baseman. Ron Coomer, you can attest to that. You know, you're kind of back, you're waiting, and all of a sudden that swinging bunt, you have to come in and on the run, like you mentioned before, make a good throw.
Yeah, he did a great job there by not getting right in front of the ball. When you let the ball play to your side, then all of a sudden you're able to get your footwork down to make a good strong throw on the move towards first base. Great play by Danny there.
Here's Konerko, walked his first time up, tying run at second with 2 away.
See if Blackburn and Butera pitch him very carefully here.
Popped up.
Oh, thank you.
Nishioka ends the inning. Not the tiniest of innings for the Twins, but a scoreless one. They still lead it 3-1.
Here flashing back to 1991, a controversial play in Game 2 between Ken Hrbek and Ron Gant out at first base is the call, and that play has been remembered for a long time, and tonight it is commemorated, Dick and Bert, as fans, the first 10,000 of them to make their way into Target Field tonight. We're given this replica double bobblehead of Ken Hrbek and Ron Gant. And here is the bobblehead. Fans were parked outside of Target Field all morning long, Dick and Bert, to get their hands on this replica. Game 2, 1991. The detail on this thing is incredible. Ron Gant's name stitched into the back, Ken Hrbek's number 14, and of course, on the bobblehead, he is definitely out. No question about it. So I think for the last 2 decades, we know that Ron Gant is out, and now with these bobbleheads, we know for the rest of our lives that he was out.
Bouncer to third. Morrell has it. Snaps his throw over to Dunn. And again, the umpire who made the call, long time, well, they used to be American and National League umpires. This guy was in the American League, and a very good umpire, Drew Coble.
Yep.
Delman Young retired, 1 away.
A very nice collectible right there. And some good memories. That's what's the best part of that bobblehead.
A little pregame ceremony introducing some key players from some key plays in the 91 World Series and regular season. Tomorrow, a full-fledged on-field presentation, which we will televise as well. To center field. And De Aza goes back and makes the catch for out number 2. Nishioka retired after Young's ground ball, and here's Drew Butera.
That might be Nishioka's best shot right there. I mean, he hit that ball pretty far. That's 400 feet away.
Butera, 9th place hitter, will catch tomorrow because Carl Pavano is the pitcher, so he gets back-to-back starts behind the plate. And a strike.
Butera caught in yesterday's ball game in Anaheim. Twins lost 7-1. Butera 0 for 2 in that ball game.
Mauer finished up behind the plate. Strike 2. Soft liner, and Morel makes the play. So Burley comes back with a 1-2-3 second inning. Baseball is brought to you by Explore Minnesota. Twins baseball is brought to you by Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. And that's the Hiawatha light rail running from downtown Minneapolis to the Mall of America, 12 miles long, 17 stations between downtown Minneapolis and the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, the Mall of America. Adam Dunn takes a strike. Our stage manager Jim Hellinger writes that frequently. And now in a very indirect way, Jim is joining you in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is. Circle Bird is in the Hall of Fame.
The bat ends up out in short right field. Mauer catches the busted back little pop-up, one away. The song Circle Me Bert, which was written, 8-9 years ago, something like that, has been included in the music library of the Baseball Hall of Fame because of your induction a week and a half ago.
Congratulations, Jim Pellinger.
Now, when is that?
One of my shirts are out.
That's the first version. The Circle Me Berts are the second ones, right? Here's Carlos Quentin.
That's on the back of the album.
Quentin reached in a fielder's choice, got credit for an RBI. There's a drive to deep center field. Revere with a very long run, but he won't get there. It's gone. Quentin at least hit a solo home run here in the third. When he came up in the first, the bases were loaded.
That was 22nd home run of the year. And for Blackburn, his 18th allowed. Well, Carlos Quentin gave it a ride. Take a look at the pitch. Not a bad pitch down in the zone, and Quentin with that uppercut swing hits it straight away center.
Pierzynski hit the bases loaded pop-up that Nishioka dropped, but the infield fly rule was called, so he was retired. Now he hit a ground ball to the shortstop. And on one pitch, Pierzynski retired, 2 away. Bauer Chevrolet is proud to present the 1991 reunion weekend. And you can meet a group of the World Series heroes tomorrow afternoon at the dealership in Inver Grove Heights. Jack Morris, Dan Gladden, Scott Erickson will be at Bauer Chev from 1 to 3 p.m. And to check out a busy weekend of player appearances, go to the fans tab at twinsbaseball.com. Beckham at the plate, and he takes ball 1. Beckham ended the first inning with a ground ball to Valencia. Blackburn misses 2-0.
At the knee. Ball to strike. Valencia watches Jeff Cox use both hands and pick up the foul ball. 2-2. Trying to sort through what happened in the first inning. I still have that as an earned run, don't you?
Yes, it is an earned run.
Breaking ball. Beckham foul tips it into the mid of Butera. A solo home run for Carlos Fuentes. And a 3-2 Twins lead. Ride of the Planet of the Apes.
Well, you do that better every time.
I want to do that. I want to do that for a living. Just read a couple of lines for a movie ad or a trailer.
And take the rest of the day off.
Exactly.
I think you could do it.
Ben Revere, I could do the taking the day off part. I know that. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes to Revere. He hit a 2-hopper between the legs of Adam Dunn, and that opened the door a crack for the Twins to score 3 runs. And Burley really ate him up in that at bat. 1 away.
Big slow curveball. He does a great job at changing speeds. Burley picks up his first strikeout.
Take the Twins with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Twins game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit twinsbaseball.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. In-market blackout rules apply. Matt Tolbert just kind of pushed the ball toward Beckham on a couple, 3, maybe even 4 hops. Revere ran behind Beckham to advance to second on the ground out and then scored on Mauer's single. This one hit high to left field. Juan Pierre has a play. Out number 2. So Burley, as he has done countless times against the Twins and everybody else, given up a crooked number, but now he's retired 7 men in a row.
Yeah, nobody's pitched more innings than Mark Burley at the major league level since 2001 than Burley. Almost 2,400 innings. This guy has been a workhorse.
Mauer drove in the tying run with a little doink to left, just out of the reach of the shortstop Ramirez. Then 2 batters later, Kubel hit one into the basket and right. Strike 1. Twins trying to get that elusive 4th run against Burley. As Bert mentioned before, he doesn't give up more than 3 runs in a game, earned or otherwise. The last time anybody, scored more than 3 runs of any kind in a Burley start while he was in the game, April 22nd.
That in Detroit, he gave up 6 runs.
2-1. Mauer backs out of the box, trying to slow Burley down a little bit. Pulled, and Dunn knocks it down and makes the play. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Burley, and he got through the third on just 10 pitches.
Of Richard Lehner right here, just giving the best wishes to him. He's in hospice with bladder cancer. Big Twins fan. A lot of people thinking about this young man right here today. Our prayers go out to you.
We'll see if the Twins can win a ball game for Rich tonight. Alejandro De Aza leading off the fourth inning for Chicago against Nick Blackburn. 51 pitches for Blackburn. And he delivers the first pitch strike to De Aza. Beyond the poor numbers, Rios not playing now because he hasn't been hustling. And when a team is struggling and one of the players doesn't bust his tail out on the field, well, then a manager has to make a stand, and that's kind of what Mauer with a nice pickup on the hot ground ball. Kind of what Ozzie Guillen and the White Sox are doing with Rios right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Rios is a good player, career .280 hitter, but he's going through more of it mentally now. You know, if he's struggling offensively, last thing you want to do is take it out on defense.
Right. Let us know who you think will be the Arby's value player of the game tonight. Might be Jason Kubel. Text the word value followed by a space and the player's name to short code 234-234. Ball one. Brent Morrell reached on a throwing error by Danny Valencia. The Twins committed an error in the first, an error in the second, but still lead by a run. And a sharp ground ball through the hole. A one-out single for Morrell. You can meet Carl Pavano and Tony Oliva tomorrow from 10 to 11:30 at the grand reopening of Gander Mountain in Lakeville. You can arrive early, limit one autograph per person. Visit foxsportsnorth.com, click on the upcoming events banner for details. And I don't know this for sure, so don't hold me to it. I think it's one Carl Pavano autograph and one Tony Oliva autograph per person. Here's Juan Pierre. Single and a walk so far tonight for the Chicago leadoff hitter. Pierre hit a hard grounder under the glove of Mauer into right field and scored in the first inning. Then he walked and was left at second in the second. Mauer with another nice pickup. On target throw. Return throw. Not in time. Good play though by Mauer to get the lead runner. And Pierre still can fly down that line.
Yeah, very nice play by Mauer, jumping off the bag and how quick he turned to get that throw over to second base. And now it's up to the second baseman to get the throw back. And Mauer back at the bag And Nishioka's throw, something on it, but Pierre just beat it out.
So 2 down, and here's Ramirez. Indians have given Ubaldo Jimenez an early 6-1 lead down in Texas in his Cleveland debut. And Detroit's got a 2-0 lead for Rick Porcello, opening game of the series in Kansas City. 1-0 to Alexi Ramirez, who's hit 2 choppers to the left side of the infield. This one stroke foul past Valencia and then about 2 feet foul.
Yeah, Blackie really trying to go in on Ramirez a couple times, like you mentioned, little slow rollers because that pitch middle in. Ramirez opening up right there and just hitting it foul. Going inside that 2-seamer, running in. You do that enough, and hopefully it'll open up the outer half of the plate.
1-1 to Ramirez.
Gutierrez sitting back in again, throw over to first.
Well, I know when Blackburn in the past has struggled getting the ball down, they've worked with him on shortening his stride, which they think would, lower his sights a little bit.
Well, he doesn't have a long stride anyway. He's always been a guy that's straight over the top, and it's a matter of just allowing your arm to catch up. That, to me, that was always the reason my pitches were up, because my body was too quick toward home plate and my arm was dragging a little bit.
Another one stroke foul and hard.
Well, Blackburn's not a 3/4 type pitcher. He's pretty much straight over the top. Let's take a look at the stride. He kind of sets it and puts it down. And gets over the ball nicely. I say get over the ball nicely allows your right hip to open up, and then you kind of fall off toward first base.
1-2 to Ramirez. They set up inside and get the ground ball to Valencia. Force at second. So a scoreless fourth for Nick Blackburn. The Twins still lead by a run. Baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. And by AT&T. Here at Target Field, Mark Burley on the mound. Michael Cuddyer fouling the first pitch on the right field line. 1 strike.
Yeah, very quick innings for Burley. 14 in the first, 8 in the second, 10 in the third. Twins scored 3 unearned runs in the first inning off of Burley. He's always been a strike-throwing machine. He's always around the plate, changes speeds well, not overpowering, but knows how to pitch.
1-2. And he got him with a changeup that spun away from him. 1 down. And before Kubel comes to the plate, you can ask us a question at carsoup.com/baseball. Levi Lira from Golden Valley asking who is the most important cog in the 1991 World Series Twins team.
You know what? They did it like in '87. It was a team effort. You know, of course, everybody remembers Jack Morris. You know, Brian Harper did a great job behind the plate. He had a great series. Dan Gladden had a great series. So many guys. You just don't win a series, a 7-game series, with, you know, a handful of guys. You know, in the pregame, I mean, they were showing the highlights of, 13 different Twins players came out, highlighted here this evening. And they all played a big part in helping the Twins win the '91 World Series, along with the other 12 guys, too.
Now, I know you're not trying to evade the question. Kubel for taking ball 2. It's a tough question to answer because from Scott Leyes, Al Newman, all the way through the line, I guess that it's hard to win a World Series unless everybody contributes.
Oh, it was in '87, same thing. Guys had to step up.
Well, my guess is Scott Erickson.
Ouch.
The most indispensable cog of the 1991 World Championship team. That's my answer to the question. He's standing about 5 feet behind me right now.
And he's bigger than you are.
2 down, and here's Danny Valencia.
All right, remember, it was Kubel who hit the 2-run home run right there. He got just jammed by Burley for that little ground ball to first base.
Burley's in the last year of his deal with the White Sox, and he's, of course, playing. I guess we can't even say he's got a good poker face these days without a player getting in trouble. But he's saying, you know, I might come back to the White Sox. I might retire. I might become a free agent, sign elsewhere.
There is a club option for Burley next year, and it's up to the White Sox whether they want to pay that salary or not. Why wouldn't you? This guy has, you know, he's going to pitch over 200 innings again. He's going to keep you in every game that he pitches.
Valencia bounces a single up the middle, and that'll get Young to the plate.
He's going to give up more hits to innings pitched, but there's 90% of his innings are quality innings. He goes right at you. Guys like him are hard to find. Up in the booth, we have Carew, named after Rod Carew, the young lady, and Gracie and Matt from Grand Forks. Welcome up to the booth.
Here's Delman Young. And he takes down and in, ball 1. I'm going to pass along happy 50th anniversary to Jim and Louise Shanalek from Minto, North Dakota.
That's a lot of years.
High pop up to deep short.
Another little changeup right there from Burley.
And Ramirez makes the catch. Head to the 5th inning. The Twins up a run, and Scott Erickson will join us when we get to the 5th. Twins in front by a run. We head to the 5th inning. Nick Blackburn hoping to get into a little bit of a groove here. He pitched a scoreless 4th. Robbie Smikowski, Ron Coomer, Bert Blatov, and Dick Bramer here in the opening game of a 3-game series with the White Sox, opening game of a 6-game homestand, and the opening day of the 1991 World Championship reunion. Paul Konerko lifts the first pitch high to center field, and Revere is there for the catch.
You know, Dick, we have the right guy in the booth right now to discuss Nick Blackburn, who's normally a sinker ball pitcher.
He had a pretty good sinker, too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And Scott Erickson up in the booth, 20 wins, led the Twins in 1991. And I know you guys are happy to be back together again after 20 years. When you struggled with your sinker, if you ever did, is there anything that you tried to do differently?
The key is just keeping it down. That's one of the biggest things. When the sinker gets up, it flattens out a little bit, and then the guys start hitting it pretty good. Because most times when they swing and miss a ball, they swing under the ball. So when you elevate it, the ball kind of drops right down to the bat. So the key is getting the ball down and then working your way back up to the strike zone.
Well, you know, Blackburn has mentioned it. He feels like his mechanics are good, but he just can't get that ball down in the strike zone to get that movement to get ground ball outs.
Yeah, sometimes it just you get in a funk, and if you don't really get out in front, it's tough to get there. So you really need to reach out to home plate and focus on getting the ball down. And sometimes you might mechanically feel good, but you slowly get into a strange little position where you're actually not throwing as well as you could.
Did you ever shorten your stride or try anything different?
I always tried to explode out as far as I could to home plate and generate as much power as possible, but just stay on top of the ball and throw it low.
Well, if it doesn't work tonight, maybe we'll just hold over Junior Ortiz, and he can have Junior as his catcher, as he was your catcher for most of that.
Junior was great. Every time I grabbed the pitch in my glove, Junior called that pitch. It was amazing how well. Yeah, we just gelled so well together that I had so much luck with Junior.
Let me ask you the question that one of our viewers sent us. Who was the most important cog on that team in your mind?
Well, there's no doubt Kirby was the spark plug, and I'm sure everybody says pretty much the same thing. He was the first one in the clubhouse every day and the most happiest person, just making sure everybody was doing great and checking on everybody. And it's a real shame he couldn't be here this weekend, but he's he'll never be forgotten.
Dunn draws his second walk against Blackburn, and the 4th walk issued by the Twins right-hander.
But that series, I mean, I remember 87, Scott, and also 79. It's a combination of 25 guys becoming one unit. You're led by certain guys, of course. You pitched well, Morris pitched well, but I mean, everybody contributed.
Yeah, the team was amazing. Everybody stepped up at the right time. I mean, I think the bullpen won the Rolaids Relief Award that year. Aggie had a great year. Chile came in and led the team in RBIs, and Herbeck just did an awesome job as usual. He's so solid and a great first baseman.
Quentin's just put the White Sox in front with his second home run. He hit it into the second deck. Blackburn came down and in on him, and Quentin cranks a 2-run home run, and it's 4-3.
That's the second time that Quentin went down and hit a home run off of Blackburn in his at-bat in the 3rd. The pitch looked like it was down, and he hit the ball to straightaway center. Here he just opens up quickly, and it's a line drive home run in the second deck. Big, strong man, 23 home runs on the year now.
4-3, and here is Pierzynski with the bases empty and 1 out.
Wasn't that bad a pitch, actually, but when the guys are looking for a sinker too, and just get used to the ball inside, then sometimes you have to adjust. And if everybody just starts looking for the ball inside, maybe backing off the plate a little bit, you got to change your approach too, and hopefully you figure that out before it gets too late into the game.
2-0 to Pierzynski. Scott Erickson had that great streak over 30 innings, scoreless. Was it 3 full shutouts in a row? Blackburn puts the glove down, makes the catch of the line drive, out number 2. Was it 3?
I'm not sure the exact thing. I think there was a 7-inning game in there, and then I know it actually got ended on a home run by Brunansky after we didn't turn a double play. So it could still be going. You never know, Bert.
Now, what are you doing yourself now? A lot of fans want to know.
I've been playing a lot of charity events during the summer, which is really nice to go around and do different things for children's hospitals and different a lot of cancer stuff, and just trying to help out as much as possible with things like that. So staying busy. Trying to work on the golf game a little bit here and there.
Are you getting any good?
Sometimes. The engine inconsistency, yeah, it's a shot to shot, you know.
Kind of like pitching. That's why I like golf so much, because it is so much like pitching. You know, some days everything works, and other days, like, where is it?
Yeah, it's like you never played before, right?
Yeah.
You're like, what's that guy doing with a glove over there?
Here's Alejandro Diaza, single in 2 trips. He's hit the ball hard twice against Blackburn with Beckham aboard after his 2-out single. Breaking ball over for a strike. The Twins are hoping to get into a bit of a rhythm here with their starting rotation, and you guys had that. Even though the team got off to kind of a slow start, you were pitching pretty well early in the season. Tapani, Jack Morris, you guys had a pretty good 1-2-3 punch in that rotation.
Yeah, we had a pretty friendly competition, and Jack being the old veteran, he really motivated Tap and I, and he just said, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you, and we just kept running.
Scott, good to see you. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks a lot, guys. Great to be here.
The Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle, and I got $100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets. This is Nick, Bert. Now, he's from Kansas City on a baseball road trip right here, but he's a huge Twins fan. His mom is born and raised here. He's born and raised here, and Herbie is his hero. So how happy are you, Nick, to get this bobblehead of your hero tonight?
We stood in line for 2 hours to get the Herbie bobblehead, and we are extremely excited to be here.
There you go. 2-hour wait. That's like on the bottom end of waits that I've seen and heard people going through tonight here to get their hands on this bobblehead, the Ron Gant, Ken Herbeck bobblehead, Dick and Bert.
Very nice.
And you are hereby circled. Congratulations.
Twins down a run now. It's Yoshi Nishioka leading off, taking ball 1 from Mark Burley. And now a strike. So Burley, who had a 1-0 lead when he started his night pitching to the Twins in the first inning, has his second lead. Inside 2-1. Nishioka, Butera, and Revere. Three and one. You've seen Nishioka take many walks. Burley doesn't issue many. And a base hit to left. So not a walk, but he got into a favorable count and grounded a sharp single to left to start the 5th inning.
Yeah, Burley averages less than 2 walks per 9 innings. So, you know, I mean, 3-1, number 8 hitter. He's going to say, here it is, hit it. And hopefully he hit it at somebody. Instead, Nishioka hitting it past the diving Morrill at third in the left field.
We'll see how the Twins play it here. Nishioka has some leg speed. Take care of the number 9 hitter. Morrill playing about even with the bag at third. One thing, Burley fields his position extraordinarily well. He's not an easy pitcher to bunt against.
No, he's won the Rawling Gold Glove the last couple of years as the best fielding pitcher in the American League.
There's a good bunt. And Pierzynski fires to first. Butera deadened it beautifully about 20 feet from home plate. And Nishioka's at second with one away.
Excellent bunt by Butera.
AT&T Trivia, who led the Twins with 9 runs scored in the 1991 postseason.
Would it be Greg Gagne? Would it be Dan Glad?
It's not Kathleen Larkin, is it? Well, here's Ben Revere. Outside, ball one. Revere reached on a done error and scored in the first, and then Burley just absolutely cut him up, sliced him up, and put him away on 3 pitches. Struck him out in the third. High chopper over the mound. Ramirez throws, just barely got Revere, and Nishioka goes to third.
Boy, that ball almost hit the second base bag. Ramirez looked like he got the ball right on top of the bag and then made a nice strong throw over to Dunn. So that high chopper over the mound, Ramirez has to cut across. Watch that ball. Oh, just on the other side of the bag. Good strong throw, just getting Rivera at first.
The Twins need a 2-out hit, a 2-out something here to get Nishioka in from third. Grounder to Ramirez. And the Twins get a leadoff hit, but Strand. Nishioka is third, and it's a 4-3 Chicago lead after 5.
Tomorrow's Twins game. Well, here's that front that we talked about earlier that is going to be producing at least a shower or thunderstorm across the Minneapolis area. So keeping an eye on that for you. All in all, looks like another humid game.
Well, all things considered, with what we've had here and on the road, we'll take this. This is
beautiful weather.
This is good summertime weather. Here's Brent Morel, and Blackburn delivers ball one. Morel, Pierre, and Ramirez. The White Sox up a run in the 6th. A solid base hit to center. So Morel has reached all 3 times on a Valencia error and a pair of singles. Let's go back to our trivia question. I'm going to go with Dan Gladden, since he scored the last run. I'll say that he scored 8
I'll go
others.
with Brian Harper.
And it is Dan Gladden. Leadoff man on. Here's Juan Pierre. He's been on base all 3 times. A single, a walk, and he reached on a fielder's choice. Up high, ball 1. Pierre singled, scored in the first, was left at second in the second, and left at first after reaching in a fielder's choice in the fourth.
Take the bunt away from him.
Carlos Quentin has driven in all 4 runs for the White Sox.
Danny Valencia in on the grass.
Butera fires. Chuck Morrell at first. Two 2-0 to Pierre. Three 3-0. 82 pitches for Blackburn. 46 strikes, 36 balls.
Yeah, 4 walks already for Blackburn.
And this is a Chicago White Sox team that had 4 games with the Yankees at home. They lost all 4. They didn't draw 1 walk in the whole series. And Blackburn's issued his 5th walk.
Well, I'm sure the Yankee staff wasn't as wild as Blackburn here as far as missing the strike zone. Bill DeMatre starting to loosen up.
Rick Anderson to the mound. There's no better place to gather your business, church, or family group than Target Field, and there are some dates in the final half of the season that might be the perfect fit for your group outing. Give a call to 833-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com/groups. Check out all the options available to groups of 25 or more, and we'll see you here at the ballpark. So the Twins down a run, and now a ticklish situation with runners at first and second, nobody out. Ramirez to the plate.
Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire, out to break it up. And Ramirez, see if he's asked to bunt here. He has 5 sacrifices on the year. Paul Konerko on deck. Twins defense looking possible bunt. Ramirez squares around early.
And lays down a good bunt. Blackburn fires to Tolbert. The sacrifice advancing Morrell to third. And Pierre to second. That opens up first base, and we'll see how the Twins handle Konerko here. Konerko walked in the first unintentionally.
Yeah, the percentages here, I say go ahead and walk him, and that's what Drew Butera just put up, 4 fingers. Set up the double play, force out at any base.
Then you got to throw strikes to Dunn, and you've had a hard time doing that. So Konerko will be passed to fill the bases with 1 out. If Dumatre is ready, they may make a pitching change here to bring a lefty in to face Dunn. As much as Dunn has struggled overall, he's been futile against left-handed pitching. Dunn with 3 hits in 77 at bats.
Yeah, the intentional walk charged as a walk to Blackburn, now with 6. That's a career high.
So now the bases are loaded, and we'll see if the Twins make their move or whether they let Blackburn try to get Dunn out.
On Gardenhire, top steps. Here he comes.
Blackburn will leave here, having gotten 1 out in the 6th. And Phil Dumatre will come in to try to extend Dunn's futility against left-handed pitching. pitching. He struck out 35 times, and as we said, has just 3 hits. It computes to a 0.39 batting average against left-handed pitchers.
Well, Demontre worked in yesterday's ball game in Anaheim. He threw 1 shutout inning, faced 3 batters, threw 9 pitches, 8 for strikes, making his 29th relief appearance.
So the bases are loaded. The White Sox scored 1, left the bases full in the first. They've had chances to break the game open, and there you see the numbers. Poor against righties, dreadful against lefties. Little pop-up. And Mauer in foul ground. And Dunn is gone on 1 pitch. And now we'll see whether the Twins pull Demontre or whether they let him go after Quentin. That didn't last long.
Now fastball in. Dunn, who has been struggling, I'm sure he's looking to hit it hard somewhere. Well, that ball right down the middle of the plate, and he popped it straight up. He doesn't know where it went. It went into Mauer's glove.
So Demontre now will be asked to get Quentin with the bases loaded. Alex Burnett warming up. And Butera going to go to the mound, maybe to buy some time to allow for a pitching change.
Yeah, Alex Burnett got up when Phil Demontre started to come into the ball game. And usually a reliever needs 15 to 25 pitches, somewhere in that range, to get loose.
And here comes Ron Gardenhire to make the move.
And then remember, he gets 8 more out here on the field.
And the Twins trying to keep this a 1-run game with the game on the line in the 6th. Last 2 of them provided by Carlos Quentin.
Yeah, called in his second at bat in the 3rd inning, hit a solo home run, his 22nd of the year, and then in the 5th inning, a 2-run home run off of Nick Blackburn. That gave the White Sox a 4-3 lead, and that's where we are right now with bases loaded and 2 outs. Alex Burnett coming into the ball game, trying to get this final out here in the top of the 6th inning. That making his 45th relief appearance. Done a good job as far as first batters face. First batters are 8 for 39 against Alex Burnett, hitting .205.
Quentin drove in the first Chicago run with a fielder's choice in the 1st, a solo home run in the 3rd, the 2-run home run in the 5th, and now the bases are loaded again for him with 2 away. Into center field, hit right at Ben Revere.
Pretty good relief pitching. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
From 2 different pitchers. Brian Harper will be with us as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
Freeze Cam. Very special players in Twins history brought back for this weekend reunion of the 91 World Championship Ball Club. Manager Tom Kelly, still Mazik. Wayne Terwilliger hasn't changed in those 20 years, and for that matter, Brian Harper hasn't either, and he's joining us here in the bottom of the 6th. We've got a 300 hitting catcher in Joe Mauer out there. Brian Harper was that for the Twins for a number of years. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Look like you could still play.
No, I don't think so. Maybe in the 50 and over league, but I saw some fan wearing some picture of this catcher, Joe Mauer, and I said, who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
You kidding me? Nah.
One strike to Mauer and a little ground ball to the backhand side of Beckham. Quick release over to Dunn. Mauer's retired. Brian Harper in the 1991 season hit .311 during the regular season. And then in the playoffs, he hit .278. The big home run against Oakland. The A's hit 5 home runs in that game. Dave Henderson hit 3 of them. But that one,
I remember that.
Against the team that you had to beat, was an awfully big home run.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they showed me on the highlight there getting ran over by Lonnie Smith, so that was fun, too.
I like the way you bounced right back up.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of adrenaline going in those games. You know, just some of those memories are just special. You know, you see all your teammates, and it was just a lot of fun. You know, I was joking around earlier saying, you guys might want to do the game there.
No, go ahead.
I was joking around earlier that
viewers see it.
Yeah, heck of it. We, you know, I look at the other guys. Wow, he looks a little bit older, and I'm sure they're saying the same thing about me. You know.
I remember Tim McCarver, who was doing the broadcast for CBS at the time, his comment after that collision is, how in the world did Brian Harper hang on to the ball? How did you hang on to the ball?
Well, you know, it was a short hop, and I just happened to get it in my bare hand and, you know, get a pretty good grip on it, and just got hit. And it was one of those things that you can't practice it or plan it. It just happened, and I happened to get a good grip on the ball with my bare hand.
You know, Brian, you caught a lot of games at the major league level, but Game 7, catching Jack Morris has to be something that you'll remember forever.
Oh, no question. Jack was just one of those guys that when he was on, he was unhittable, and he was stubborn out there, and he was going to throw what he wanted to throw, and you didn't talk to him much at all during the game because he was going to do what he was going to do. And but he had that game face that we talk about. You know, when he was a great guy in between starts, and once the game started, he was pitching. He had that game face going.
To center and ranging back is Alejandro De Aza. 9 pitchers. Brian, can you hang with us another half inning?
Sure.
All right.
Carlos Quentin, thanks to him, a solo home run in the 3rd, then a 2-run home run in the 5th. Jason Kubel gave the Twins an early 3-1 lead, but there's Quentin right there. That's the solo home run, and then in the 5th inning, the 2-run home run. And the White Sox lead 4-3.
There's another former Twins catcher who used to hit 300 for a few years, A.J. Pierzynski.
Yeah, he's had a nice run with the White Sox.
Yeah, he hit 300 a couple of years with the Twins. 1-0 from Alex Burnett.
You know, you were a lot like him. You're very durable. You know, AJ's caught more games than any catcher in the big leagues for a long, long time. I know 97 now this year he started, and it's something that you took a lot of pride in too.
Yeah, you know, it takes a lot of hard work, and you know, some of those days in August you can't even hardly move your legs. You know, you just get up there and try to get them going. But you know, I tried to take care of myself and you know, get prepared for the whole season. It's a long year though.
Brian Harper in the '91 World Series hit .381, 8 hits, 21 at bats, a couple of doubles.
Yeah, those were good days.
Breaking pitch, lifted foul off the bat at Pierzynski. I think I know the answer to this. Does it seem like 20 years ago to you?
No, it really doesn't. You know, I mean, I feel great and everything, but then all of a sudden when I look at pitchers, you know, and I see all the other guys, I go, wow, we are getting old, you know. And then all of a sudden I talk about it. Well, I have a 30-year-old son now, and you know, and it's kind of like I feel good. But you know, those are the kind of memories. You know, winning a World Series is something that you'll never forget. You know, those are the kind of memories that you see the highlights, or you see the game on, you know, ESPN Classic or whatever, and you relive them over and over again. So it's something that's really special. And to see all the guys here today was great.
And you yourself, I mean, once you retired, you got back into the game, and you're still in the game today.
Yeah, I love managing. I've been managing for the last 10 years in the minor leagues and what we call player development, trying to help guys get to the big leagues. And to me, there's nothing greater than to try to help a young ball player, show him what it takes to get to the big leagues. And even I've had the opportunity in AAA to have guys go to the big leagues for the first time. That was one of the funnest things I've done in baseball.
Very rewarding, I would imagine.
There's nothing like it. You know, especially when it's his first time in the big leagues, when you're telling him he's going up, and you know, you can play some jokes on him, and you know, and do some really fun stuff. And I had an opportunity to do that for a couple of years.
Beckham, the hitter, with one gone in the seventh.
Now you're at the AA level, managing for the Cubs organization now.
Yeah, the AA level's, I think, the funnest level because it's where a lot of the young talent is. You know, usually the AAA level is a little bit of the older guys or the backup big league guys, you know, the emergency guys. AA, you see so many good arms and such good talent. It's been a real fun level for me this year. The Cubs have a lot of talent in AA, and we've had a good year.
And Randy Bush was
yeah, he's the assistant general manager, so I guess you could say he's my boss. You know,
Randy's here, and looking forward to talking with him a week or so ago. Really looking forward to the weekend. 2-1.
You know, when you think of the '91 World Series, how could you not think of Kirby? You know, you miss Kirby. Kirby was just a special guy, just a special teammate, and you know, but you know, we all have a lot of great memories with, you know, from Kirby from playing with him.
You know, I think both of us were lucky to play with Kirby Puckett. I know when we had the '87 reunion, 4 years ago, for 20 years, and the same sentiments came from the players there. We missed Kirby.
Well, because he was a leader. You know, I mean, he was a leader of our team, and he was the guy that got everything going. And you know, always telling us to jump on his back. He was going to carry us, and he usually did. You know, but we had a lot of fun with him.
Particularly in Game 6, and then of course, Bert mentioned you were catching Jack Morris in Game 7, a game that seemed like it would never end. Although it almost ended so many times, there's a foul
coming at us
our way.
Almost had it.
When you think of all the different scoring opportunities that each team had, and then there would be a ground ball double play, a line drive double play. Beyond the magnitude of the game, just in terms of the game itself, it had to be one of the more interesting games you ever played in.
It was unbelievable, and just the nerves of that game. And you know, during the 7th or 8th inning, you're just sitting in the dugout going, I'm wore out mentally. You know, as a catcher, I was wore out mentally during that game. And the greatest story for me was when Jack came out after the 9th inning and Tom Kelly told him he was done, and Jack said, I'm not coming out of this ballgame. You know, and you know, there's a couple different versions, but for the TV, I'll just say he basically said, I'm not coming out of this ballgame. This is mine. And Tom Kelly and Dick Such, and you know, Tom Kelly in his wisdom got together with Dick Such and patted Jack on the back and said, "Go get him, big guy," and sent him back out there for the 10th. But it was a little tense in that in the dugout there in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Diaz bluffs a bunt, takes a strike. Burnett starting the seventh, striking out Pierzynski, but now walking Beckham. The Twins have issued too many walks in this game, and consequently the White Sox have had a threat in just about every inning. That's hit to left. Young backpedals. Out number 2.
You know, Brian, we had Jack Morris on our pregame show, and Jack was talking to Ron Coomer and Anthony LaPanta about he wanted to start Game 6. You know, I mean, that's the type of workhorse that he was, but also the competitor that I guess TK saying, no, you're going to pitch Game 7. Erickson's pitching Game 6, and you will pitch tomorrow.
Right.
That's a lot of confidence.
Well, you know, Jack was one of those guys that I mean, he saw the need, obviously, to win Game 6, and Scott was struggling a little bit. It was his first year in baseball, and he's pitching all the way into October, and he was struggling a little bit. And Jack seemed to get stronger as the year went on. I mean, obviously, the Game 7 was the best game he pitched all year. You know, and here it was October, whatever, you know, late October, and Jack just kept getting stronger and stronger.
1 strike to Brent Morel, the number 9 batter. He's reached on an error and singled twice.
He was always interesting to call a game with, because he was going to throw what he wanted to when he wanted to, and you weren't going to talk him out of that pitch. And you know, some pitchers, you know, I had a relationship with Kevin Tapani. We had a real good relationship. We were always on the same page. But Jack was going to throw what he wanted to, even if it went against the game plan. Like he threw Ron Gann a first pitch fastball inside, which is exactly what you weren't supposed to do, with men on second and third and 1 out. In Game 7 of the World Series in the 8th inning, and Ron Gann pulled it foul. You know, so Jack was he was different to catch, but a lot of fun. He was a competitor, much like all the great, like you were. I mean, all the great pitchers.
Well,
congratulations to you.
The ball. Thank you.
Much deserved, and a little later than it should have been, but
I'm still on this side of the grass. That's the way I put it.
Yeah, there you go.
2 strikes to Morel. Burnett trying to clean up business here in the top of the 7th inning. Long hold, and Morel gets time.
Morel with a couple hits already in this ball game. Those coming off of Nick Blackburn, who worked the first 5 1/3 innings. Phil DeMatre did a good job. 1 pitch, got the out, and then Alex Burnett got the final out to end the 6th inning.
Pitch out.
I've noticed in the managing in the minor leagues that 0-2 and 3-0, a lot of teams will run, when back in our day nobody would run on 0-2 or 3-0, and so to see Gardy call a pitch out there on 0-2, I've done that a few times in the minors.
Beckham at first.
You know, you as a former catcher, and you caught great pitchers in the minor leagues. I see now pitchers are pitching 110, 120 innings and they're shutting them down. How's it ever going to get back to the big leagues where guys are going to be more consistent?
You know, that's something we talk about a lot. You know, that you protect a guy so much that you know, are you hindering him because, you know, you're throwing 95 pitches, you get 95 pitches, 100 pitches, and you got to take him out of the game. You know, are you protecting him too much, or, you know, so it's always a fine line. You don't want to, the younger guys, you don't want to, you know, wear them down, but then how are you going to prepare them for the big leagues to go 125?
Because at the Double-A, you've got probably some kids that aren't that far away from maybe pitching at the major league level.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's a battle. We talk about it a lot.
1-2 to Morel. Bouncer foul again to Jeff Cox.
Oh, he booted that one.
Didn't stay down. He came up.
It's just showing Adam Dunn that he can do it too. That's what. He's one of the characters of the game right there, Jeff Cox. Get a chance to talk to him. He's a funny man.
Yeah.
One and two again to Brent Morel. Snap throw to first. Beckham gets back.
Keeping an eye on Beckham. 3 stolen bases in 5 attempts. Burnett pretty quick home. He'll utilize that slide step.
Beckham goes, got a good jump, and it's a ball, and the throw to second, not in time.
Good throw.
So Beckham got a great jump. Pitch close to a called third strike, but it's ruled ball 2.
Yeah, Butera, outstanding arm behind, but this is stolen off the pitcher right there. Butera, good strong throw. But Beckham gets in safely for his 4th stolen base of the year in 6 attempts. Feet first slide.
Now 2-2 to Morel. Three and 2 with Pierre on deck. White Sox got a run, left 3 in the first, left 2 men on in the second. At first and second, nobody out in the inning, didn't score. Hit the home run in the third, Quentin's first. Got a base hit in the fourth, 2 runs in the fifth. Bases full in the sixth. So yeah, they put a lot of pressure on this Twins pitching staff here tonight. Snap foul, and Morel and Burnett having a long battle here. Twins have had the better of it against the White Sox for quite some time. They'd like to come back and win this one. Burnett trying to keep it a 1-run game.
Pitch number 25 for Burnett in this inning. It's fouled off again.
Well, he's doing his best Brian Harper imitation up there. 2 strikes, and we're getting 1 foul after another.
Trying to put something in play. Hopefully we'll get him.
You were a hitter that was, you know, I was with Wade Boggs at the Hall of Fame, and he was a guy that wasn't afraid to hit 0-2. We have a guy, Joe Mauer, same way. You were that way, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where I was confident, and I changed my stance a little bit to put the ball in play, and I had some success.
Great stop by Colbert, and he caught it on the fly. Morel with a blistering line drive, but it's the 3rd out of the inning. It's a 1-run game. Our thanks to Brian Harper. Enjoy the weekend.
I really will.
It's time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. McDonald's. Quench your thirst. Get any size soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. And buy the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. Twins had a 3-1 lead, but they have not scored against Mark Buehrle since the very first inning, and they're trailing the veteran lefty by a run.
Now, Buehrle's pitch count outstanding. Only 63 pitches needed in 6 innings. Again, a guy that attacks the strike zone, not afraid of contact because he changes speed so well. Ron Cooper, the pitching coach.
Valencia takes up and away ball 1. Valencia with a bouncer to short and a single. In fact, the only hit, well, 2 hits, singles, since the first inning allowed by Buehrle. 1-1.
We saw an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, then he'll throw a 76-mile-an-hour changeup to get the count to 1-1. Breaking ball out of the strike zone, but Valencia swings over the top.
And
Love
Buehrle
the way it works.
Yeah. Usually waiting for the hitter.
Yep.
Fastball away. But even at that, you get the sense he threw that pitch exactly where he wanted to. Off the plate, if Valencia wants to expand the strike zone and go after a fastball, then so be it. Bouncer left side. Morel has it pretty sure-handed over there, and he throws to Dunn, one away. A window of opportunity for the Twins with Delmon Young, who's had pretty good numbers, including 3 home runs against Mark.
Yeah, 0 for 2 so far, so hopefully those numbers can carry into this at-bat right here.
Young with a bouncer to third and a pop-up to short so far. Inside, ball 1. Well, Young right up on the plate, and Pierzynski's target in. We'll see how they go after Young in this at-bat. And they came inside, and Young flared it foul.
Yeah, both of them with breaking balls to make sure that he got inside.
The infamous cutter, the little short slider, whatever you want to call it. And the dribbler to third, Morel sets and fires, goes play, and retired out number 2. We'll bring up Nishioka. Tonight after the game, don't miss Becoming Wild, presented by Toyota. Get an inside look at the Minnesota Wild Hockey Operations Department in episode 3, New Blood. Sounds like a vampire episode. A new coach is at the helm. The front office has its draft list in order, and Minnesota's about to host the biggest NHL event of the summer. Don't miss Becoming Wild tonight after the game. Ball 1 to Nishioka. Nishioka single to left, leading off the 5th inning, got as far as third base. 1-1.
Yeah, Burley foul behind, 3-1, came in with a fastball. Nishioka hit it in the left field.
The count was 3-0, 3-1, and then Nishioka hit a sharp single to left. At the knees, a strike, 2-2.
Burley, no walks in the ball game, 2 strikeouts. He's given up only 4 hits.
Little pop-up, playable for Pierzynski, or so it looks. No, drifted back into the seats.
Yeah, change up right there. Nishioka way out front. Well, Jason Kubel enter a Pepsi Max in-game box score. 2-run home run in the first inning.
After Bauer's RBI single in the first.
Twins, the only runs they've had so far.
2-2 to Nishioka. That's hit hard to center, but right at the center fielder, Deaza. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mark Burley. He's had 4 of those through 7 innings. Look at that beautiful sight from the Plaza area.
Twins down by 1. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. Yeah, I talked to Jerry Terrell today. He wanted me to say hello to his high school coach 47 years ago. He's here at the ball game tonight.
Yeah, very nice.
George Barnard from Waterville. Where was it, Jerry, from?
Elysian.
Elysian.
Right.
Yep. So, Coach, he's here tonight.
Job well done. Jerry Terrell, a pretty good utility player for with the Twins and the Royals, I believe.
Yep. Makes his home in Kansas City. Right now, he said he's out in California taking care of his mother-in-law, who's 91 years old, going through some health problems.
Juan Pierre takes ball 1, facing Matt Capps, who comes out of the Twins bullpen to pitch to the White Sox in the 8th. Bunted at and missed. Don't see that very often. Pierre, one of the best bunters in the game, and he fanned on the bunt. One and one with Valencia in on the grass. Mauer about even with the bag at first. Covers the inside corner.
A good fastball there. Capps last worked on Tuesday in that first game in Anaheim. 1 shutout inning through 18 pitches, 11 for strikes.
And now 1-2. Pierre's gotten aboard with a couple of walks. The Twins have issued 7 of them. There's uncharacteristic of them. 7 walks over 7 innings, 1 of them intentional.
Well, outings are big. This is big for Matt Capps right here, because last time the Twins were in town, the fans kind of gave Capps some booing. Nice running catch by Kadire.
Kadire sprinting in to catch the soft line drive. 1 down. Home Depot doing more on defense, and Alexi Ramirez with a nice play, just barely getting Ben Revere.
Yeah, this in the 5th inning. Very nice play. The ball almost hitting the bag, but Ramirez on the run, showing off his strong arm.
1 gone. Here's Ramirez. Sacrificed his last time up. White Sox have left 11 men on. The Twins have only left 2 men on. That's to center, and Revere won't get that one. That one drops into short center, and Ramirez is aboard with his first hit. And that'll bring up Konerko. Right off the end of the bat, much like the ball that Pierre hit.
8th hit for the White Sox here tonight. These 2 teams came in as a ball club, both of them hitting .251, 8th best in the American League.
Konerko a couple of walks, one of them intentional. A pop up to short and a fly ball to center. Right down the middle of strike. Indians leading Texas 7-3 in the 6th. Kansas City trying to come back against the Tigers. Detroit leading 3-1. Bottom of the 7th with the Royals threatening. That's hit to left, and again that's going to die in front of Delman Young. Ramirez holds up at second. So 3 soft short line drives, fly balls, whatever you want to call them. None of the 3 hit well. But runners now first and second with 1 away.
Yeah, I mean, good strong hitting right there by Konerko, because he got jammed right there, but still strong enough to get it into short left field. So Konerko picks up his first hit.
Dunn has walked twice, and he's 0 for 2. A couple of pop-ups to Mauer.
Watch the fastball. Ran in on him a little bit, but he's able to get the barrel of the bat out. Puts it softly into left field.
Strike over the inside corner. So Capps, who has been booed in his home ballpark, facing a guy who's heard nothing but boos for the last 2 months in Chicago.
Yeah, these guys were teammates together last year before Capps got traded over to the Twins. Dunn spent 2 years with the Nationals, came up with the Reds, also spent time in Arizona.
2 strikes. Dunn right on the edge of record-breaking low batting average. The lowest batting average ever recorded for someone with 400 at-bats, 500 plate appearances is 166. And that's right where Dunn is right now. Give you some idea of the magnitude of that if it stays that way for Dunn. The guy who set that record did it back in 1892.
He struck out 139 times already in 326 plate appearances.
1-2 to Adam Dunn.
That's what Capps needs here.
To Mauer. And only one, with Dunn hitting the snot out of the ball right to the Twins' first baseman. Wow. So 2 down, 2 on, and here comes Quentin.
Yeah, Dunn hitting it sharply, but right at Joe Mauer for the second out.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good play by Konerko. He doesn't have much speed, but he's showed his smarts on the base paths there.
Yeah, Konerko coming out of the ball game. Alex Rios pinch running for him at first base.
So Konerko has been bothered by that sore left leg, is out of the game. And here's Carlos Quentin, who has driven in all 4 Chicago runs. Pitches up high, ball 1. Quentin has come up twice with the bases loaded and been retired. The home runs have come with the bases empty and only 1 man aboard. And now he's up with 2 men aboard and 2 out. So counting the guys on base now in his 5th plate appearance, there have been 9 men on base for Quentin. One and one. A little number foul, 1-2. And here in the 8th, the White Sox are threatening. One and 2 to Carlos Quentin. Check to swing. High hard one.
That's a good pitch right there, because the previous 2 pitches, that sliders away that Quentin reached over the plate for. Going to go in on this guy. I think Blackburn tried to go in. He didn't get in far enough, and he opened up and hit that line drive 2-run home run in the 5th inning.
2-2. And it hit him. And they're loaded up now for Pierzynski. Nothing new for Quentin. He typically gets hit about 20-25 times a year.
Yeah, 21st time he's been plunked this year. Most in the American League. That running fastball. And Gardy coming out. Glenn Perkins was a little warming up. Looks like he'll come into the ball game.
Too many bases loaded situations for the White Sox. So far, the Twins haven't been burned. We'll see if Perkins can get the Twins out of this spot in the 8th.
batter versus pitcher stats, how much gas the pitcher has left in the tank. Check it all out. FoxSportsNorth.com, plus the interactive Twitter conversation going on the right side of the page. Chat with White Sox fans as well as fellow Twins fans on FoxSportsNorth.com's Game Connect. Once you log on, it's at the top of the page. Pretty cool stuff, Dick and Bert.
Yeah, thank you, Robbie. Glenn Perkins coming in. He has been outstanding over his last 19 appearances. He's allowed only one earned run.
Pierzynski 1 for 11 against him, and Perkins hits it. Brings the first pitch in at the knees, much to Pierzynski's disbelief. 1 strike. Brett Lillibridge in at first base. He's running for Quentin. Would likely have replaced him defensively anyway. Fouled away, 2 strikes. Royals have tied the Tigers at 3 in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, you hope the Twins come back and tie this ball game because Ozzie Guillen has taken out his 2 home run hitters,
right,
Mirko and Quentin, this inning.
Two strikes to Pierzynski. The fastball low, 96 miles per hour.
Yeah, last 16 1/3 innings for Perkins, only 2 walks, 20 strikeouts. And opponents hitting just .096 off of it.
Slashed foul. This is the 6th plate appearance the White Sox have had in this game with the bases loaded. So far, the only time a run is scored is when Quentin reached on the fielder's choice back in the first. Foul out of the mitt of Butera, still 1-2. White Sox left the bases full in the first and again in the 6th. One and 2 to the Chicago catcher. That rolls away from Butera and a run will score. A breaking pitch in the dirt. Butera so good about blocking those, but that one got away.
Let's see what happens here. How Butera let this ball get to his right. Well, just on the other side of home plate, and then ricochets off of Butera's shin guard. A wild pitch will be charged to Perkins, allowing Ramirez to score.
Awfully big pitch here now. 2-2 to Pierzynski. A bouncer foul. So a big insurance run here in the 8th. Burley's got a 2-run lead. Fly ball, right center field. Cuddyer has it measured. The White Sox get another run on a wild pitch and now lead by a pair.
5-3 the score. The Twins trail the Chicago White Sox here in downtown Minneapolis. We're going to talk about it with Ron Coomer and Anthony LaPanta on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. We'll break down this American League Central Division showdown between the Twins and the White Sox. Also preview tomorrow's Game 2 of the 3-game set, executing the sac bunt with Ron Coomer and Burt Bly. 11 plus Guardy's postgame press conference. What do you think of Blackburn's performance? And also those of his relievers who did a great job tonight. You'll find out on Twins Live. Dick and Burt.
Trevor Plouffe pinch hitting for Drew Butera, taking ball 1 from Mark Buehrle.
Yeah, Plouffe 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
And there's a strike 1-1. It'll be Plouffe, Revere, and Tolbert.
You know, Dick, you sit on that bench for 7 innings and you watch the way that Mark Buehrle goes at hitters, and you know, you see so many different pitches, so many different speeds. That breaking ball right there, Plouffe probably guessing something else. He swung right through it. That ball that just landed him from just on the other side of home plate.
Brent Lillibridge in right field. And a called third strike. Put a fastball right on the edge for the first out of the 8th.
They carved him up right there. Buehrle picking up his 3rd strikeout.
And it looked like it was outside.
Well, you keep hitting the glove. That's how you make that plate grow. And then Burley's very good at that.
Here's Revere, 0 for 3, reached on a done error back in the first inning, and he takes strike 1. And another slow breaking ball gets a swinging strike to Revere. White Sox have only beaten the Twins once, and it was a game Buehrle started in Chicago. He wasn't involved in the decision. White Sox ended up winning it in extra innings. 1-2.
Yeah, Buehrle gave up 3 runs in that ball game, and all 3 were unearned.
Yeah, as they are here tonight. 2-2. Tolbert on deck. Twins bunched an error, a bloop single, and Kubel's 2-run home run together in the first inning. And then Nishioka led off the 5th with a single, got as far as 3rd base. That's been it in terms of a scoring threat. Full count to Revere. Buehrle hasn't walked a man. High chopper over the mound. Ramirez is going to have to hurry. Same play that he had in the 5th inning, and he makes it again. 2 down.
This time the ball he cut in front of second base rather than the other one was just on the other side of the second base bag. So Ramirez charges in on the run. Nice little short hop. What a good strong throw over to Adam Dunn. And high chopper. Second out of the inning.
Well, here's Matt Tolbert. Changeup over for a strike. Twins have tried everything against Buehrle, even getting home at 6 in the morning the night before. And they're having a hard time timing him. And that's lifted foul over the Twins dugout.
Well, he's a pitcher again. He's not going to blow you away, but I'll tell you what, he gets quick outs. And look at that, 90 pitches. What's the most he's thrown? 14 in the 1st and 14 in the 7th. That's it.
4 innings of 10 pitches or less. And his style, his tempo works so well for him. You wonder why more pitchers don't do it.
I agree.
1-2. 2-2. And he catches the ball. Ready to go.
156 major league wins, only 115 major league losses.
And the ball comes in, and you've just about got time enough to think to yourself, oh, I can hit this. 2-2. Slow bouncer.
That's where you hit it.
And Morel guns it across. And a strikeout and a couple of weak ground ball outs in a clean 8th inning for Mark Buehrle. had a lead of 3-1 very early on, but then they've mounted really no serious threat against Mark Burley, and the White Sox with a couple of home runs, an insurance run in the 8th, and now Glenn Perkins will face the bottom third of the Chicago batting order in the 9th. Beckham on the first pitch pops it up short right field. Trevor Plouffe is out there now, and he makes the catch, one away. Plouffe in right field. Joe Mauer moving behind the plate with Butera lifted for a pinch hitter, and then of course means that Michael Kanire comes in from right field to play first base. Here's Alejandro De Aza. Down and away, ball 1. De Aza single was thrown out trying to steal back in the 2nd inning. One and one. They say in Chicago that the general manager, Kenny Williams, told Ozzie Guillen, you play who you think is going to give us the best chance to win. He bunted it against himself, but while he was still in the box, right, according to Mike Estabrook.
Yeah, Estabrook right there making the quick call that De Aza was in the box. Attempting to bunt. We saw him earlier in the ballgame try to bunt.
Yep. Both feet were still in the box. 1 and 2. Anyway, Kenny Williams apparently told Ozzie Guillen, you play the outfielders you think give us the best chance to win, regardless of their contractual situation. And now with August rolling along, it appears that's what they've done. For right now, they think De Aza is going to give them a better chance than a guy making millions of dollars a year.
Well, it brings in a little better enthusiasm too, and that's one thing they were talking about Rios, is that it's just his lack of effort.
He's a designated hitter right now.
Omar Vizquel right there talking to Rios.
2 and 2. And a foul ball. We're in the 9th inning in Kansas City. Detroit and Kansas City tied at 3. Rangers are trying to come back on the Indians at 7-5 in the 7th.
Well, when someone doesn't want to play and is having a bad year, it opens up the door. De Aza came up last year as a September call-up, spent some time with the Marlins, getting an opportunity to open, get some at-bats.
Pulled on the ground. Kanire with a shoulder-high hop, out number 2. Sanford Health injury report involving Justin Morneau, who played for the Rochester Red Wings tonight. A hit in the 8th inning and then was taken out of the ball game. 0 for 4 tonight, but significant that he was originally scheduled to play 7. He wanted to get one more at bat in the 8th. You can imagine, I think, if you know Justin at all, how anxious he is to get back in the lineup.
Yep.
Strike 1.
Yeah, Gardy was hoping on the road trip, I know we talked about it in Anaheim, that he wanted to come back and talk to Justin. By the time the Twins got here, Justin already had left.
Bags are packed. I'm out of here.
I didn't want to talk to Gardy. I'm ready to play.
2 strikes to Brent Morel. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, the Twins have Mauer, Kanire, and Kubel lined up to face perhaps Chris Sale. And Perkins finishes off Morel. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 9th. Sale loosening up with Mark Burley cruising into the 9th. Jimmy John's delivery of the game presented by Mark Buehrle, the finesse left-hander.
Well, you know what? He gave up 3 runs in the first inning, all unearned, and then shut the door after that. Twins were only able to get 2 hits from the first inning on. So Buehrle outstanding, again, looking for his career 26th win against the Twins organization.
So instead of a finesse left-hander, the White Sox do pull the trigger and bring their power lefty into the ballgame, Chris Sale.
Yeah, no surprise. Buehrle, his 23rd start. We talked about his consistency. It's his 17th straight start. He's given up 3 runs or less in an outing, but he does not have a complete game yet this year. And Buehrle, with only 94 pitches, comes out of the ballgame, and Chris Sale, the hard-throwing lefty, comes in.
Chicago bullpen has been very, very good as of late, and Sale has turned his season around after a very slow start. He's been very strong, and he'll get a save opportunity here in the 9th.
He has 2 saves, 2 of the 28 the White Sox have out of that bullpen.
Ball 1 to Mauer. Mauer with an RBI single and a little flare to left back in the first inning. At the knees, a strike. Sale in a closer's capacity right now. Tomorrow it might be Santos, depending on the matchups. And then they think next year Sale may move into the rotation. Breaking ball over, 1 and 2.
Well, it gives you that 3/4 long arm type of delivery, 6'6", about 180 out of Lakeland, Florida. Attended college right there in Fort Myers at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Little tapper up the line and hit right to Dunn. 1 away. So Sale gets a weak ground ball for the first out of the 9th. And it might have been Santos here tonight if the 9th inning started Cuddyer, then Kubel, then Valencia with a couple of right-handed batters. But the Twins sending a lefty, a righty, and a lefty, and so Sale gets the call. Twins need a base runner to make things interesting. Sale, who delivered ball 1 on his first pitch, has thrown 4 strikes since. The bouncer to third. Backhanded nicely by Morel, and a strong throw for out number 2.
Again, the White Sox have a very good defensive ball club. The infield outstanding. Morel, very nice play. Watch him kind of drop to his knee right here. That ball right down the line. And then showing off that strong arm.
Jason Kubel hit a 2-run homer in the first. Twins had a 3-1 lead. They haven't scored. They've hardly threatened since. Ball 1. Kubel trying to keep the game alive for Danny Valencia.
That fastball clocked at 96 here at Target Field.
That extra run the White Sox got in the 8th could sure change things, can it? Instead of Twins being 1 swing away, they've got to have somebody on base and then hope for a big swing. And Kubel down the line has a fair ball. And he'll dig for second with a 2-out double.
Kubel getting his second hit of the ball game, his 19th double, breaking ball, stayed right on it, good flat swing, making good contact right down that right field line. Into the corner, so Kubel on second base with 2 outs.
And now Valencia will hit. Valencia has been one of the Twins' best hitters against left-handed pitching. Coming into the game with a 321 mark. He was 1 for 3 against Mark Buehrle, but a different challenge here with his hard-throwing lefty, Chris Sale. Twins have the hit. They have the base runner. Now they need the blast. Oh, my. Looked like it broke around the plate.
Yeah, wow.
That was a wide pitch. Called a strike. Sale with a breaking pitch gets ahead of Valencia. And another one.
Well, that one hit the strike zone.
See what they do here so many times. Left-handers will go up with a strike, a fastball out of the strike zone to try to get strike 3 from Valencia. Breaking pitch down and in, that ends the game. And Valencia with some words for Mike Estabrook as he leaves home plate. And the White Sox once again behind Mark Buehrle find a way to beat the Twins. Anthony, Twins lose the opener of this series with the White Sox.
26 times Mark Buehrle has beaten the Twins. We'll show you how he did it, how he settled down after 3 in the first inning. Our instructional will teach you how to bunt in Ron Gardenhire's press conference. All next on Twins Live.